Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. My name is Mark Roden. Today we are doing cheap, fun, reliable cars. That's about it. Just so you guys know, the fun aspect is the strongest, okay? So I mainly went for cars that you're going to have the most fun in. Cars that are also cheap and also have reliability though, so not like a 350Z because they're not that reliable, but they are cheap and fun. You know what I mean? It has a good balance of all three, but the one that I went for the most is fun. With that out of the way though, let's get into the list. 12th is the Mitsubishi Lancer, coming with a 2.4 liter inline-4 making 168 horsepower. And this car was either front-wheel drive or all-wheel drive, so depending on which one you need or where you live, you can go for that one. The thing with the base model Lancers is almost always, it seems like people buy them, realize the mods are a little lackluster, and end up selling it to get either an Evo or a car that they think they'll have more fun in when they have the money. The Evo is definitely the better of the two, but unfortunately in this video we're balling on a budget, so an Evo is a little out of the price range. But the Lancer is still a great daily driver that you can have a little bit of fun in when the time is right. 11th is the Nissan 240SX S14, coming with a 2.4 liter inline-4 making 155 horsepower. And the reason I put this car this low on the list is because even though, yes, the car is super fun and really reliable as long as you don't, do typical S14 things to it, most of these cars have been beaten to a pulp, especially if you're going to find it for like under 10K. It'll be hard to find a good one. Once you do find one though, you'll never want anything but a 240SX. The next car you'll get is going to be an S13. They're the ultimate drift missile. They're decent for track days, and they have an absolutely massive aftermarket platform around them. If you decide not to slap on any mods or beat it up, it's also an extremely reliable car. 10th is the Toyota Camry V6, coming with a 3.5 liter V6 making 301 horsepower. And yes, it was front wheel drive, but that's okay because it's a freaking Camry. Now, if there's any car in the world that goes with the word reliability, it's the Toyota Camry. They're like the cockroaches of the car world. They just won't die. And the new ones particularly look extremely good in my opinion. Older models, yeah, they never really did it for me either, but the new ones, you cannot lie to yourself and say that they don't look great. They're getting a pretty decent sized community around them as well. The aftermarket support isn't huge, but what is huge is the amount of money you'll save within your 20 years of owning a Toyota freaking Camry. 9th is the Volkswagen Jetta TDI, coming with a 2 liter turbocharged, that's what the T stands for in the TDI, inline-4 diesel engine. That's freaking sick. A diesel Jetta, freaking crazy. But it made 150 horsepower, and of course, since it's a Volkswagen, it was front-wheel drive. Volkswagen has always been very reliable, but the diesel Jettas were just built different. These cars, not only did they handle whatever you threw at them, but they were great for gas mileage as well, especially the diesel ones. The diesel Jettas are the best for gas mileage out of any of the Jettas, and the Jettas alone are just really good at gas mileage. So if you were looking at this video strictly for daily driving purposes, then the Jetta is one of, if not the best options on this list. No, it won't be the most fun, keep that in mind, but it will be the best for daily driving. 8th place is the Subaru WRX Blobeye, coming with a 2 liter turbocharged flat 4 making 227 horsepower. And are you happy now? Are you happy now? I finally called it flat 4. I am sorry for everybody who noticed I said inline when talking about the Subarus, when indeed they are made with a flat 4, not an inline 4. I thought they were inlines, they're not, they're flat 4s. But besides that, this car is great. Not only is it all-wheel drive, which is definitely a plus, especially if you live in a winter area, but it had a freaking turbo, which is cooler than a lot of the other cars on this list. And I know what you're thinking. I know exactly what you're thinking. Mark, the Subarus are notorious for blowing up. Yes, that is true. But that's only true when you're talking about somebody that buys a WRX and then pushes so much boost on that WRX that the internals can't handle it anymore. If you keep your WRX pretty much stock and you don't really beat on it that much, the WRX motor is actually extremely reliable. But if you drive it like a 350Z or Miata, then yeah, it's going to blow up. 7th place is the Lexus SC400, not the 300, and they came with a 4 liter V8 making 250 horsepower, and it was the best rear wheel drive, baby. Unfortunately, this car only came with an automatic, but if you're buying a luxury Lexus, then I think automatic is fine anyway. I don't really think you need a manual transmission if you're driving a luxury sports car. Yes, this car did not come with the 2JZ. like its little brother, the SC300, but the 4-liter V8 was still such a beast of an engine. Whether you're going for mods or just for daily driving, the engine can handle it. The looks of this car are kind of a hit or miss. You either love it or absolutely hate it, but personally, I think it's a great looking little egg-shaped freaking Lexus boy. Sixth place is another egg-shaped boy, the Dodge Neon SRT4, coming with a 2.4-liter turbocharged inline-4, making 230 horsepower. And yes, it was front-wheel drive, which kind of sucks, but don't let that stop you from enjoying one. Every single SRT4 owner that I've ever seen has said that they absolutely loved them. They always recommend buying an SRT4. They look okay, definitely a better look than the base model Neon, but if you don't like the looks, there are plenty of mods to make this car look a lot cooler. That's why I'm including the videos in the background to show you how cool they actually can look. The reliability of one of these is absolutely insane as well. I have seen some freaking people just like destroy these cars like it's freaking Conor McGregor versus Khabib. They're like, or Habib, however you pronounce his name, they're just like beating on it all the time. Weird parts will break, yeah, but the actual engine itself will be absolutely fine with whatever it is you throw at it. I've seen these cars just take literally an absolute beating. Fifth place is the Mercedes E550 W212, coming with a 5.5-liter V8, making 382 horsepower. And it was either rear-wheel drive or all-wheel drive, whichever one that you would rather have or whichever one that you would rather need. And yeah, I know you're probably thinking to yourself, you're probably like, how is a Mercedes reliable? How is a Mercedes cheap? How is a Mercedes fun? Well, most aren't, I will admit it, but the E-Class Mercedes has always been praised for being really good daily drivers, and an E-Class Mercedes, it's a Mercedes, they're always fun. I don't understand where that stigma came around Mercedes that they're not fun cars to drive. They're extremely fun cars to drive, and the E550 is the best car if you're going for that luxurious, classy look, but you still need a daily driver. I think the Mercedes E550 W212 is the best choice for you. Fourth place is the Mazda Speed 6, coming with a 2.3-liter turbocharged inline-4 that made 274 horsepower, and it was available in all-wheel drive only. So, if you ever wanted a WRX, but didn't want to be like everybody else, then this car is the car for you. It's literally a WRX in Mazda form. It also had more power than the WRX at the time, which was the Blobeye WRX, but it had a smaller community than the Subi. Mazda Speed 6 community isn't that huge. The Mazda Speed 3 community isn't even that huge. But there's still a lot of aftermarket support for it, and there still can have a lot of fun modifying it and making it a cool car, but it's just not as big as something like the WRX. If you need hatchback space, or if you don't like all-wheel drive and you like front-wheel drive, the Mazda Speed 3 is pretty much the same car, just in a hatchback. Third is the Mazda Miata NC, because it isn't a list without the Miata. And it came with a 2-liter inline-4, making 167 horsepower, and yes, it was the ugliest Miata, but it still was a freaking Miata. Like, the NC Miata gets so much hate for being just ugly, and I agree. I don't like the NC Miata at all either. The NA is definitely the best, then ND, I mean, then NB, and then C for me, at least. That's my personal opinion. But if you can get past the looks, then it's literally a Miata. It's rear-wheel drive. It's low horsepower, but it's got a good weight distribution. It's got a 2-liter inline-4. It's a lot of fun, and it's dirt cheap with really low miles. I mean, this is one of the newest, cheapest sports cars you could find, if that makes any sense. It'll last you so damn long, even if you want to beat it up. It's a Miata. They are literally, you can't find them without them being beat up, and they're still going to last you 300,000 miles. Second place is the Toyota Hilux, or the Toyota Pickup, which is a hilarious name, but it came with a 3-liter turbo diesel V6 making 150 horsepower, and it was a 4x4, obviously, it's a truck. If you're a truck guy, you're probably either super happy to see this truck on the list, or you'd think a different truck deserved the spot, and if that's the case, I'm sorry, I really don't know much about trucks at all, so bear with me on this one. There could be another truck out there that's more reliable than this one, but from what I've heard, the Toyota Hilux is a freaking tank. It's an absolute just panzer tank. If there's any vehicle that should be called the cockroach, I referred to the Camry as the cockroach before. This car, this truck is the freaking cockroach of the car community. You could throw nuclear warheads at this truck and it won't even break a dent. The truck, yeah, it rusts like crazy. I mean, I was looking at ads for some of these and they're all rusted to shit, but People are finally starting to realize how amazing these trucks are though. So honestly, get one now before the price skyrockets, because pretty soon they're going to be a collector's car and they're going to be very expensive, like the 240. First place though, the most reliable, fun, cheap car that I think that you should buy is the 6th gen Honda Civic Si, or the Honda Civic Si EK model, and they came with a 1.6 liter inline 4 making 160 horsepower, and it was front wheel drive. Not only was this car absolutely dirt cheap, look online, these Civic SIs are just literally just pennies on the dollar. They're also extremely fun. If you're going for a front wheel drive car, I highly recommend the Honda Civic is the front wheel drive car that you go with. It's not even the fact that it's fun stock, but the fact that you can make this car anything you want for literally like $1,000 and have a missile in anything that you want it to be for that cheap. That's just crazy. Also, don't even get me started on reliability. It's a freaking Honda. It's a Civic. Literally, they're known for reliability. The Honda name has received a lot of slander for being slow, but that's because people are driving them like they would a muscle car. And when you do that, it definitely feels lackluster. But once again, if you finally start to add some power mods on there and realize that you have a Civic and not a Dodge Challenger, and you start to beat the piss out of it, you'll realize how much fun these cars actually are and why there's such a huge community around them. All right, so that is the end of this list. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did enjoy, please like the video, subscribe to my channel. We do top 10s all the time, and we're not going to stop until I get a project car for the channel. Super stoked on that one too. If you guys want some SmoothStance merch, I unfortunately don't have any on right now because mine are dirty, but if you want some SmoothStance merch, www.smoothstance.com/shop. Also, let me know what other cars that you think should have made the list, and let me know what other lists that you think I should do. Kind of running out of ideas here, so give me some more ideas. We'll try and make them happen. One thing that I'm going to be doing is the cheapest classic cars, because somebody said that they like classic cars, and I don't really mention classic cars in my videos. That's a good point. I don't really mention classic cars too much, so we're gonna make a whole video dedicated just to them, most likely next after this one. Yeah, I love you guys. I've been getting some comments recently about like, oh, I can't wait to say that I've been here since 1K subscribers and that kind of stuff. That makes me feel so awesome. I really appreciate that. We also hit like 12,000 views on one of my videos the other day. Thank you guys so much for that. We're closing in on 2,000 subscribers. Thank you so much for that. But yeah, guys, das vidania. Have a nice day.